This is how I should have known I was autistic, if not at least neurodivergent. I thought it was normal, but don't ask me what normal is, because normal is not a word, it's not a term anymore, and I said stop using it, but just for the reference of why I'm going to continue the sentence. So we used to have school assemblies, and I came from a decently big high school. Like my elementary, my middle school, such a small town. Everybody that did one sport basically did the other sport, and if that kid didn't do that sport, it's because they didn't like it, but sometimes they'd do it just because they needed to field teams. That's how fucking small the town. But that's where I grew up and kind of learned how to communicate and interact with people. Now, if I would have grown up in the town that I graduated from, I don't know. I feel like I'd be more Caucasian. I don't know how to explain that aside from I feel like I'd be using certain lines I don't currently use. But I did graduate from a very decently sized high school. And because of that, when they had assemblies, I fucking hated that. When I tell you, those motherfuckers, because I did have two sets of bleachers at both schools. We had the main floor bleachers and the upstairs bleachers. When I tell you that motherfucking school always filled up both sets of bleachers, I tell you, motherfucking schools. This is a good thing kids didn't always go to school. But we would always be, no matter what class I was in, I shit you not, would always be up top, and that shit pissed me off. But also, it didn't matter which class we were getting told to go to the assembly, I was always that kid that held the goddamn door for everybody. And when I mean everybody, I mean all the students, all the teachers, all the paraplegics. Parapros, not paraplegics. Actually, we could have had some paraplegics. We did have an elevator that went up to the upstairs floor, but I didn't have to hold the door for them. That elevator actually went into that room, because the elevator went into that room, and if you weren't using the elevator, you had to go up the stairways and enter through that door. And that's the door that I held open for everybody, because when you got a constant fixed stream of a bunch of people going through, somebody's got to be nice enough to open. Nobody's really going to, and eventually it's going to be left on somebody to hold it open and blah this and blah that. And I thought, I don't really want to be in here with all these energies, so if I hold and open the door, nobody's going to remember, nobody's going to give a shit. Nobody did. For 4 years straight, I held open the door for the start of assemblies and the end of an assemblies, and I'd always hang out in the stairway. Unless a teacher forced me to sit inside, which I absolutely hated, because too much energy, too many people, I fucking hated it. So I'd either hang in the stairway, or because the gym was on the back. Most people are paying attention forward. I'm paying attention to how the fuck can I get away from this, because the attention's not on me. It's the attention on the person in the middle of the room that's downstairs, that's on the microphone. Who the fuck am I? I am the doorman. They appreciate me holding the door. They just don't respect it. So I always found my own little space to do what I wanted to do throughout the fucking 35-minute, hour-long assembly. Hell, sometimes I'd leave early, depending on what time the assembly was. If it was the end of the day assembly, bitch, please, you couldn't keep me if you tried to. But midday assembly, I basically hung out in the stairwell. If not, I would hang out in the back area where the cheerleaders did their shit. And I would wait until I could hear it to be almost over with. And I would hold the door yet again. And because I ran through the fucking hallways, my teachers didn't give a shit. They know I would still be one of the first people in class. But yeah, I just don't think about shit.